to it. Thank you. You are about to enter another episode of the Traveling Hoopers. We're back for season 4. This is season 4, guys.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's season 4, bro.
That's kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's special.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, bro. Anyway, first episode. We already got to talk about. It's off season. We what? How many days we into?
Like 4 days into free agency, and then
There was the NBA draft.
the NBA draft was like 5 days ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So
And
what?
then-
Day 4?
What?
Day 4 free agency.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right. So, most of the big transactions out of the way, except, like Anthony Davis and whatnot, but they rich. We already know where they going.
They rich. They rich. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what y'all thinking? Winners, losers, biggest moves? Yeah.
If I say a winner, it's obviously gonna be the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are a winner. I'm not a big Chris Paul fan. I'm okay. Let me show you that. I'm a big Chris Paul fan for like what he does for like outside of basketball. Um, his game is like fine. Like I'm fine with his game. He's just a point guard that'll never win a championship. He's hit the ceiling of where his capabilities are on the basketball court. He's just a fine point guard to me personally. But he is what Devin Booker needs to elevate his career and elevate his game. Um, and the Phoenix Suns made some other moves, outside of that, which will also benefit them, especially in comparison to how they played last year. But it's just to add on how they ended the year last year as well. And then another winner, I would say, honestly, including the draft, would be the Golden State Warriors. For they took an L because of the whole Klay Thompson thing, but I don't want to say disregarding that because you can't really disregard that, but even with that being the case, they still did a lot in terms of filling in holes, right? And we're gonna like Steph Curry doesn't have an excuse this year to not make the playoffs. Let's just say that, right? You have Kelly Oubre, he's solid, he's gonna get the job done at least, you know what I mean? Wiseman's the big man they needed. Draymond Green doesn't have any excuse like he had last year, in terms of at least producing to a decent level, an average level, in terms of rebound, points, and assists. Um, the Golden State Warriors should make the playoffs. Like honestly, they should make the playoffs. And then another winner that comes off the top of my head is also the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh yeah.
Um, Drew Holiday is nice. Like people who are like, this is a big three with Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Giannis. Like Drew Holiday is like this. He's better than Chris Middleton on both ends of the floor, offensively, arguably, but definitely defensively. So if you could stop, like, just the option of pulling Giannis off the best defender and putting Drew Holiday on them, and then putting Giannis on the second best player on defense is going to make such a big difference that I think it's been severely understated to this point. So I think they're also a winner also, or that's a lot of alsos. I think there is a winner as well. And then I think past that you can make arguments for winners, but those for me are the clear cuts.
I don't know how you don't have the Lakers. How you didn't say the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers got better in like a weird. They made some weird trades, but they have enough people. The whole like the Dwight.
I mean,
like I like Dwight Howard a lot in that position with the Lakers. Before them, what they got Marc Gasol now and like Jordan Bell.
I mean, the only reason I didn't say the Lakers is because I think it's hard to say. I think it's hard to say somebody got better or somebody like they made adequate or more than adequate adjustments outside of the or after a championship year. I like the other teams aren't champions and like they're gonna go from like two of the ones I did were going from non-playoffs teams to playoff teams. right?
Yeah.
In Golden State, and then Milwaukee potentially has like really good in the East, like all-time good in the whole entire NBA. I wouldn't put the Lakers up there with that because the Lakers would go from championship possibly to championship again, and so like they didn't make as significant of strides as these other three teams, and that's why I personally didn't put them up there.
Reasonable statement. What about you, Calvin?
So let's see, who I think won. Well, Golden State looks like they might, like previously mentioned, looks like they might actually be competitive. They got Wiseman in the draft, even though my understanding was they weren't really trying to use that pick. They would have rather like traded or something. But like if they kept the pick, it was like with Wiseman, it's one of them things like it made too much sense not to do. Like it made too much sense for them to get Wiseman, that was a pick that was basically impossible to mess up. I think, oh, um, at least in this early stage, I think that both um, the Nuggets and Jeremy Grant lost free agency.
Jeremy Grant, one free agency. He got that bag. That's what we talking about. That's it.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Because my understanding was that the money that Detroit was going to pay him, the Nuggets were going to pay him the same amount. And the reason I say it is because, like, you left the championship contender. I guess you want to play a bigger role, but you left the championship contender and you didn't make them pay more than the Nuggets were prepared to pay you.
I'm not excited to see Jeremy Grant in the larger role. Like,
I mean, honestly though, but like
I like him.
The Pistons made moves. Some are suspect, but but a good amount of them are like legitimately like solid moves. You know what I mean? Like getting Jeremy Grant's a solid move for the Pistons to put him alongside Blake Griffin, and then they made a lot of good moves. The only suspect move is to pay Mason Plumlee that much money for 4 years or for 3 or 4 years. They paid him too much money, and that is, but like Mason Plumlee is a journeyman, but he's getting paid more than a journeyman's amount right now. But also the journeymen right now are getting paid more than everybody. If you include, are not getting paid more than everybody, but they're getting paid more than any other journeyman in NBA history. Just like you saw Jordan Clarkson get that significant amount of money from the Utah Jazz. Like journeymen are getting paid good money and they're taking advantage of it. Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee, Jordan Clarkson, they're getting ridiculous money just to be coming off the bench for whatever reason. You know what I mean? But I do think the Pistons did pretty decent this offseason.
If we talking about quote unquote journeyman getting the bag, let's talk about Gordon Hayward.
But I wouldn't consider Gordon Hayward a journeyman though, because he's only been on 2 teams.
That's why I said quote unquote. Like it's more of a joke. Like that man just showing up for the bag at this point, right? Like like he left Boston. I get like role, but like you left your chance of like at least sniffing a championship.
He went to Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Does Michael Jordan have some kind of like love for white players?
I've been confused by that for so long because he kept drafting the same player. If the first one didn't work out, and I don't mean like in a derogatory sense, but I feel like Tyler Zeller and Frank Kaminsky wasn't too much of a difference.
No, he got Cody. Or was it Tyler or Cody?
I think it was Cody.
Yeah, it was Cody.
Neither of them are special.
He got Cody at Indiana. Yeah, he was. That blew me away. And I don't know. Like I'm not like, why does Michael Jordan keep getting the same players? Except I do think having Gordon Hayward and then having what's his name from KU?
Devontae Graham.
Having Devontae Graham those two are gonna do wonders for the growth of LaMelo Ball specifically, though. I will say that. Like that is true though, because it will alleviate some pressure from him in terms of scoring. And I think that's going to be incredibly impactful on the growth of LaMelo in a positive direction, though. So, like, if that was his goal, then I'm all for it. But I'm pretty sure that wasn't his goal. is the issue. I'm like, I don't want to say I've lost all faith in Michael Jordan as a GM. Is he GM or he's owner? But is he GM
He's
too?
the owner.
I think he relinquished GM rights like a while ago.
All right, but he makes too many decisions.
Yeah.
But I don't know what his rationale is, let's just say, for why the Charlotte Hornets draft the way they do. But if it's like if he's drafting all these players to relieve LaMelo Ball and like help LaMelo Ball grow, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, I will say this. I think a really understated pickup in this whole debacle of free agency and whatever, Steven Adams to the Pelicans is big. I do think that. Sorry, say one more time.
No, go on with that because I don't exactly like the fit to begin with, just with Zion, because I'm not sure how much space you really need to have him around rim to be effective. So
they are okay. So, I mean, it's an upgrade from what they had last year for sure.
Oh yeah.
One in terms of age, and in terms of athleticism, and Steven Adams has a really high basketball IQ. Like, I think that's understated about his game. So, like, he knows what he's doing and he knows his role and does it to perfection. In terms of space, I think they're going to be fine in terms of space because they've made some moves and, you know, they don't have George Hill anymore, but they kept Eric Bledsoe for the backup point guard role. And, Zion is probably going to space his game out a little more. Brandon Ingram has done that. Lonzo Ball has done that. They still have JJ Redick. Like, they have enough players to do that. But I think that if you're going to do an upgrade from Derek Favors, you might as well get a player who plays similar like him, except Steven Adams is only 27 years old. He's not old whatsoever, and you watch OKC games. He's crazy strong.
Ridiculous.
So I also think Derek Favors wasn't strong defensively. So I think they want to, they're a quick team, they're a fast team, and that's going to be the way they play again this upcoming season. But I think they wanted to lock it down more defensively as well. And if you have a front court of Zion or backcourt, whatever it is, I don't know. If you have the 4-5 of Zion and you have it of Steven Adams, that's ridiculous, honestly. And then everybody else is gonna play solid defense around them. Like that's good. You know what I mean? And I do think in terms of just like elevation of where you want to go next year, that is a good thing. And I also didn't see the Mavericks make one move.
They did trade Seth Curry. Speaking of which, I feel like for Philly, I feel like that is an important pickup. They need to do more, of course, but like if you're assuming they continue to want to try and like make Embiid and Simmons work, they have to get more shooting, and Curry gives them some of that. Like it won't be enough by itself, but it's an important thing.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. The 76ers, and to have Dwight Howard as a backup center is a solid move also. Mm-hmm. If he can imitate anything he did of this past season. If he starts going back to Wizards Dwight Howard, then he will be out of the league in less than 2 years, guaranteed. But yeah, the 76ers did need that shooting 100% though.
Hey, that's Seth Curry effect. Like he might not have a ton of gravity, and that is really just defensive fault because we, like the Mavs, like we ate so many people up last year just because of him, bro. Like when he got hot, he was almost shooting like 50% from three at some point. Like he was killing.
I mean, I'm not mad at him as a player. I'm fine with him as a player. He's just a journeyman to me. He's Jordan Clarkson. He's Jordan Clarkson gets hot like that too. You know what I mean? Like they're the same kind of players.
He's a poor man, Steph.
He's what?
Like he's a shooter. I would argue, or at least I'd use the phrase, even if it's not completely accurate. He's kind of just a poor man, Steph.
If
Like-
we gonna be accurate, we're gonna say a poor man's like JJ Redick. Cause
Yeah, because like
I'll give
Steph
you
is,
that. I'll give you that.
Steph is too crafty with the ball. Because Steph is like I don't like him because I think he ruined basketball forever. But like he is very crafty with the ball. He can like get to the rim and do like these wild finishes and all kind of stuff. Seth is just a shooter. Like he's JJ Redick. Come off the screen, pop, shoot. You know what I mean? Like he actually plays more like Klay Thompson than anything else. If you're gonna be honest with you, in terms of offense.
That's fair.
and he can shoot that bitch. He can shoot it.
That's all they need him to do.
That's very true.
I got a question though. So how do y'all feel about Obi Toppin going to the Knicks in the draft?
I think positionally, I don't have an issue with that. I think they're going to have some problems defensively down the line, but I don't know. I'm interested. I didn't watch a ton of Obi Toppin at Dayton, so I don't have a lot for you, but people say he's nice in the draft, so
I mean, he is good. The Knicks just have a lot of forwards, so they
Yeah.
they did need a forward. They didn't need any forwards. He is gonna be good for them. He's gonna be good for the city itself, advertisement, sponsorships, so on and so forth. But
is he gonna be good for the city, or is the city gonna be good to him?
no, he's from there. He's gonna be good to the city.
Wait, he's
He's
from
from,
there?
he's from New York.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
from New York.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
that's
from New York, so he's gonna be good for the
get that
city.
for him.
Hometown story because the Knicks never win championships, so they need like underlying storylines. And so like in the concept of that, it's gonna be good. In basketball sense, the Knicks have too many forwards, not enough good guards. So they probably could have drafted a little bit differently. But I think he's gonna be a good pro. He's gonna be a good pro.
Yeah. He's gonna be super
That-
solid. Probably a career starter, or at least close to.
Well, the thing is though, he works hard, and I think and if I remember right, he's kind of old.
He's 22.
So like, but he works hard. You know what I mean? That is what it is. He works hard. So like when you work hard, eventually he might get that Mason Plumlee check. Who knows? You know what I mean? But well,
He's
well,
already better than Plumlee though.
I mean,
Fine.
the fact that Mason Plumlee is still in the league is ridiculous to me, and the fact that he got paid this money is even more ridiculous to me. But to each his own.
Yeah.
Athletic, 7'1" will always have a check. As long as you can move, you will always have a check.
I mean, he's not a bad player by any means. He does his role well, but I blame Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson started this whole trend of if you do your role well, you get paid obscene amounts of money. Also, Tristan Thompson to the Celtics, underrated move.
Low-key solid pickup.
Solid pickup.
I missed that.
We just don't see much of him because he's in Cleveland, and now because LeBron James is gone. But that's a solid pickup, and that's going to be like beneficial for them for sure.
Yeah.
What was
They
it?
didn't
I
have
think
bigs last year. At least not solid ones they could keep on the floor.